The first thing that hit me was the sirens. They bounced across the lake like echoes in a canyon, red and blue lights washing over the quiet homes. I stood on my lawn, hands at my sides, sweat on my neck, mower idle behind me. "There he is," Karen shouted, pointing at me like I'd stolen the sun. She clutched her HOA binder to her chest like armor. Two police cruisers rolled up. Neighbors peeked from porches. Phones appeared. Even a drone hummed overhead. "Sir," the first officer said, calm but firm, "step away from the grass." I blinked. "Step away from the grass?" I repeated, trying not to laugh. "Officer, I'm literally not cutting anything." "That's the problem," Karen shrieked. "He refuses to maintain his lawn to HOA standards, no diagonal lines, no native patches. Violating Section 4, Paragraph B, subsection." She flipped through her binder breathlessly. The officer, tall, tired, gave me a sympathetic look. "We got a call," he said. I nodded. "I get it, Officer Miller, but my little patch is pollinator-friendly. I have a city exemption letter." Karen scoffed like the air had personally insulted her. "Fake permits," she snapped. "Do not fall for his tricks. He thinks he's special." I looked past the officers and saw a white city truck turning the corner code, enforcement followed by another marked city environmental programs. Karen stiffened. The officer stepped out, bright orange notices in hand, and approached her. "Ma'am," he said calmly, "we received complaints about your actions." He held up the notice. "Cease and desist. Unauthorized enforcement actions." Everything froze. Even the drone seemed to vanish. Karen's jaw tightened. My heart thumped. That was the moment the city stepped in, the moment Lake Greenwood, HOA's calm facade, began to crack. Let me back up a sec. A few weeks earlier, I moved in, excited for quiet and a little nature in my yard. I'm Jake Harris, a high school science teacher. I grew up mowing lawns, but I also knew the little miracles of milkweed and black-eyed Susans. My plan? A tidy lawn with a small native patch for pollinators. The first few days were peaceful. Neighbors waved from kayaks. Ducks skimmed the water. Kids fished. Mr. Brooks waved from his morning walk. Life was calm. Then came the welcome letter. Mandatory orientation, it said. Failure to comply may result in fines. Friday arrived. I walked in with cookies. Karen, arms crossed, hair sprayed to perfection, gave me a smile that didn't reach her eyes. "We don't accept food due to allergies. Keep them off surfaces," she said. "Got it," I said, balancing the plate. "You've already received 2 courtesy notes," she said. "Your mower lines were diagonal, trash cans out too long. Lake Greenwood is a brand." I wanted to ask who timed my trash, but I said, "Thanks, I'll be careful." Then she handed me a laminated sheet. Approved plants, fence heights, grass types. Bottom, Lenino native patches. It felt like being told a rainbow had too many colors. "I'm planting a small patch," I said gently. "City approved, helps pollinators." Her smile died. "The city does not run Lake Greenwood." "We do." I nodded. I respected the rules, but I also believed neighbors and bees could coexist. The next morning, a fine fluttered on my door, $150 for an unapproved landscape plan. "Mr. Brooks shook his head kindly. "Karen's focused. Order keeps the bats away, but sometimes order pushes people instead of helping them." I tried reasoning, trimmed edges, labeled the patch with permit numbers, and did small kindness brought and misses. Patel's newspapers helped teens with bikes, carried groceries. The fines kept coming, but I felt a sense of calm doing good. Then a heat wave hit. Emily called frantic. "Baby overheating, AC dead." I ran over, improvised a cooling plan with bowls of water and cross-ventilation, called the power company, stayed calm. Baby calmed. Tom arrived, shaken. "Thank you," he said. "We're neighbors," I replied. Karen drove by, pointing at her watch on my lawn, but I didn't wave. That evening, a new HOA notice. Scheduled failure to comply. Mandatory appearance. "Mr. Brooks explained, softly. When Karen first moved here, her husband left. The HOA became her control. Kindness sees the person inside the problem, not just the rule. I promised to bring patience and documentation. At the next meeting, I presented city letters, measurements, everything. Karen objected. Neighbors stood. Children spoke up. Benji, 10 years old, piped, "I like the butterflies." Karen froze, then stormed off, muttering threats. Things escalated fast. Suits, yellow envelopes lawsuits for the flower bed. Fake work orders, crews with mowers and trimmers. I stopped them with evidence of the court order. Sirens, police, city code enforcement arrived. Karen's plan collapsed in real time. County auditors appeared, served her immediate suspension, confiscating ledgers and fine slips. Her face went pale, lips trembling. For the first time, she seemed small, fragile, afraid. A late-night showdown by the lake. Karen tried to dump evidence in the water. I confronted her, insisting the truth be seen. Deputies intervened. The bag was recovered, soaked but intact, revealing the stack of unauthorized fines, ledgers, and letters. The community gasped. Whispers of fraud, abuse, and theft spread. Mr. Brooks summed it up. "Child, you carried this community like a crown. But a crown carries chains too." Karen wept quietly as she was led away. In the days after, the HOA scrambled. Some board members confessed their fear. Neighbors rallied. A preliminary press briefing revealed mismanagement, unauthorized enforcement, and financial irregularities. I stood with Ava, my attorney, explaining the truth simply. My flowers were compliant, my actions kind, the fines and threats unjust. Witnesses confirmed, and the courtroom validated it. Karen Langley was permanently removed as HOA president. Oversight ensured until new elections. Fines were refunded, letters of apology sent. Neighbors reconnected, kids played, butterflies and goldfinches returned. My little native patch became a symbol, small but defiant, a reminder that order isn't just lines in the grass, it's kindness, community, and standing up when one person tries to control too much. I never saw Karen again. Word is she moved quietly to a sister's home. Sometimes I wonder if she's found peace. But when I watch the butterflies, I remember they never ask for permission. They just land where the flowers are. And that's what saved Lake Greenwood. That's what saved me. Where are you watching from? The morning after Karen disappeared felt strangely quiet. The lake shimmered under a pale sun, and the air smelled like wet earth and cut grass. I stepped out to my little native patch, brushing the dirt from the petals of the coneflowers, milkweed, and black-eyed Susans. The butterflies had already started to flutter in, cautious, curious, as if sensing the calm after the storm. Mr. Brooks shuffled up behind me, cane tapping in slow rhythm. "You handled things well yesterday," he said, voice soft but steady. "I just stood still," I admitted. "Not sure that counts as handling much." "Sometimes stillness is the strongest move," he replied. Corinne's been wound tight for years. Today, everyone saw it. I nodded, letting the words sink in. It mattered. He was right, but the reality still felt surreal. The HOA that had ruled us with iron-fisted rules, fake fines, and threats was finally exposed. And yet, Karen's shadow lingered. You could feel it in the quiet way neighbors glanced at the clubhouse, in the careful way people moved their lawns, even in the way kids whispered to each other about what had happened. Over the next few days, life around Lake Greenwood returned to a slow rhythm, though with a newfound edge of alertness. No new notices arrived, no confrontations in the streets. Karen seemed to vanish, at least in public. Curtains twitched occasionally, but that was it. Neighbors whispered about city audits, refunds, resignations, little ripples of hope. I tended my patch meticulously, watered in precise circles, straightened edges, but it was more than just gardening. No, it felt like reclaiming our neighborhood, one flower at a time. Then came a knock. Late evening. I opened the door to find Ava, out of breath, briefcase swinging. "Jake," she said, eyes wide, "the hearing's been scheduled. It's not just about fines, any more fraud, mismanagement, whether the HOA survives. You need to be ready." My stomach flipped. This storm wasn't over. It was just climbing. Friday arrived, courthouse buzzing like a hive. Reporters leaned forward, cameras flashing. Karen sat stiff, flanked by her attorneys, her face pale, eyes darting. Ava beside me whispered, "Today isn't about punishing her. It's about showing the truth." I nodded, trying to steady my heartbeat. I was a teacher. I planted flowers. I graded papers. Yet here I was, at the center of a trial for the soul of our neighborhood. The county presented first. Investigator Ruiz laid out the evidence. Unauthorized fines, redirected compliance funds, fake city notices, destroyed records. Ledgers, emails, stamped slips proof filled the room. Witnesses followed. Mara and Rick admitted intimidation. Denise spoke about her son counting butterflies. Tom recounted the overheated baby. Mr. Brooks leaned heavily on his cane and said simply, "Order isn't lines in the grass. Order is about people caring for each other." Jay cared. That's what saved us. When it was my turn, I spoke slowly, deliberately. I told the truth. The fines, the binder, the city permit, the threatening notes, the blackout at the meeting, the mowing crew with the fake order, the night I caught Karen at the lake trying to destroy records. I didn't yell. I didn't accuse with venom. I just told the story as it happened, showing the court that kindness and law were on my side. Karen rose next. Her voice was softer than I remembered, shaky, almost human. She admitted, in fragments, that she didn't mean harm. That after her husband left, the HOA became her family, her anchor. If the lawn stayed perfect, maybe she felt steady. If the grass didn't, maybe she felt lost. Her words, honest and raw, cut through the room. "I hurt the people I swore to serve," she whispered. The judge, steady, decisive, said, "Leadership is not control. It is trust." MS. Langley, you broke that trust. Effective immediately, you were removed as HOA president. Lake Greenwood HOA will enter county oversight until new elections. Restitution for misused funds will be sought. Gavel struck. Relief swept the room. Neighbors cheered. Some sighed. Some simply sat, stunned. Karen lowered her head, shoulders shaking, tears falling quietly. Weeks passed. Orange cease and desist. Notices were peeled from the clubhouse door. Fines refunded. New board elections announced. Neighbors waved openly. Kids ran. Chalk drawings of butterflies and suns reappeared. My patch thrived purple cone flowers, milkweed, black-eyed Susans, goldfinches, and butterflies danced freely. Others began small patches too, tiny rebellions of color and life, reclaiming the neighborhood. One Saturday morning, watering my flowers, Mr. Brooks shuffled up. "See," he said, smiling at the patch, "kindness can be louder than control." I nodded. Truth walks slow, but it gets there. I never saw Karen again. Rumor was she moved quietly to live with a sister in another town. Sometimes I wonder if she found peace, or if she's still searching for order in a world that refuses it. But when I look at the butterflies, I remember they never ask permission. They just land where the flowers are. And that's the lesson I hold on toward her isn't lines in the grass. It's neighbors caring for each other. It's kindness growing where fear once ruled. That's what saved Lake Greenwood. That's what saved me. So, tell me, you Hat, would you have done if you were in my shoes? Would you have planted those flowers anyway, or let the rules win? Drop your thoughts below. I want to hear your side of this.